Carol.
Hi, Laura. Welcome to All Seasons Wild Bird Store.
Well, thank you for having us here today. I am really excited to get started feeding winter birds. I see there's a lot of options here.
There are a lot of options.
So what are the first steps to getting started?
First step is deciding where you will be when you're watching the birds. Sit in your favorite chair, at your workstation, if you're in your home office, in front of the sink washing dishes. Where do you want to be when you're watching those birds? That will help us decide what feeder you should use.
Well, speaking of feeders, I see you have quite a few over here. Do you want to take me on a tour?
Absolutely.
All right.
Winter bird feeding, you need to have nutrient-dense food. You could do a double suet feeder with the tail prop for the pileated, prop their tail so you can get a good whack at that suet.
And this is for woodpeckers.
Woodpeckers. They also really like the suet log feeder, the Minnesota made.
Minnesota made, love
Yay.
that.
This is for feeding on a patio area. It's got a patio base. These are two options of window feeders. They'll get used to seeing you there. It isn't going to bother them. Great way to see birds up close and personal.
Do you have any concern about birds flying into windows when there's feeders on the window?
Actually, it helps to keep them from hitting the window because they realize it's not a pass-through.
I understand if you have a squirrel issue in your backyard, this feeder's for you.
It is. I love this feeder. Squirrels, when they touch this, it closes off the food source and they can't get at it.
And that means no food for you, right?
Right.
Buffet is closed. So now that we have our feeders, obviously we need to fill them with food. And I'm guessing different types of seed attract different types of birds, correct?
Right, right. So this type of feeder is a Niger feeder, little tiny slit holes. So you need a small seed like Niger and chips to go in that one.
And this is for chickadees?
Chickadees, goldfinches, house finches, winter visiting finches. Another option is dried mealworms.
These look delicious.
Yeah, really great nutrition for the birds.
Who doesn't love worms, right? We all do, don't we? And the suet, of course, is for woodpeckers and other...
Right, so birds that can cling would use this feeder, like a chickadee, nuthatch, nice high density, high fat.
And that's important for the winter to make sure it is high fat for the birds, right?
Right. And birds that are lucky enough to have a bird feeder in their area enter breeding season healthier and have better broods.
So we have our feeders, we have our food. Does it matter where you put the bird buffet outside?
It does. And if you want to follow me, I'll show you our display out back.
So we are in the land of bird feeders out here. Do you have any tips on where to place the bird feeders once you get them to your backyard?
Sure. If you're worrying about squirrels, you want to put a baffle over the top and not too close to the tree trunk because they can jump. Yeah, I do like the idea of having bird feeders out where there's cover so the birds can hopscotch from one tree to another and then to your feeders. They seem to be more comfortable. Now, the chickadees always seem to be the first birds to get used to a new feeder. Interacting with nature is really good for us. It lowers blood pressure, all of those things. And feeding birds in your backyard just brings that nature right up where you can see them and where you can interact with them, and benefits them to have the food and benefits us to have them.
Thank you, Carol, for all your help today.
You're very welcome. Here's your feeder.
Excellent. So remember to set up the bird buffet in your backyard. It'll brighten your day as much as it does the birds.